How are you doing? Welcome to live stream number 173. Today's topic is how to model a feed screw or a golf ball. And what is a split washer? Today we're going to try to answer the best questions and hopefully give the best answers. We're going to model up both the feed screw and the golf ball, of course, because these live streams are just trying to add a little bit more value to your Fusion 360 experience. The clock is ticking. We got about 2 minutes countdown. So if you're watching the recording, I would not blame you for fast forward. Just hit the little slider down there in the YouTube. And you can fast forward to right at the top of the hour, 3 p.m. Eastern, and we'll get going here. I can see we got people already in here. Absolutely appreciate you guys taking the time to join these live streams. That's why I'm a little bit early. Just want to take the opportunity to thank you. Couple of things going on. I can maybe just entertain people. I can see we got people from all over. Germany. Absolutely awesome. Next week, I'm going to Chicago next week. I like Chicago. That's a pretty cool city. So there'll be no live streams probably Wednesday and Thursday next week. Doing another of these generative design workshops. I think it's completely full. So sorry about that. If you are a paying ultimate user, meaning that you have access to the generative design, I am doing one in Michigan next month. That's going to be the next one after Chicago. So shoot me an email down in the description there if you're interested to go to that. What else? We are on the last minute. We got everybody in here. Sandra is here, Randy, David, Scott, David, Michael, people from Denmark. Absolutely awesome. Really appreciate you guys taking the time to watch these live streams. Yes, today's topic, how to model a feed screw and a golf ball. And we're going to talk a little bit about split washers. Really just trying to answer some of the questions that I'm getting with email that, I'm sorry, I just can't keep up. What is absolutely awesome, but I'm sorry I can't answer everybody back. If you have any future topics you would like to see, definitely shoot them. I read all the emails for sure. Email is down in the description area. If you like these videos, do me a favor, thumbs up. If you don't, be totally honest, it's okay. Thumbs down. And with that, we are counting down. Let me just, so we can get started here. Let's see, I gotta turn the clock off. That's my whole thing. And we should be good to go. Hey everybody, thank you so much for joining live stream number 173. Today's topic is how to model a feed screw or golf ball and what is a split washer. We're not going to pick between the feed screw and the golf ball. It's just me trying to be funny. Of course not, because these live streams is my attempt to add just a little bit more value to your Fusion experience. It is June 14th, 2018, if you care about that. My name is Lars Christensen, and truly appreciate you taking the time to join these live streams. Today, we are going to answer some questions that I've gotten in. My email address is down in the description area. Like I said before, I have some trouble keeping up. I'm sorry. One day I will catch up on all of them, but I just thought I would answer some of the ones here today. So, with that, Fusion 360, that's where you want to be. You don't want to listen to me talk too much. So yeah, and the new interface, huh? Looking good. One thing, I got one question yesterday. I haven't gotten to it yet in the comments area. The G, that is the generative design button. You have to be a ultimate user with and have paid for the software, so not the hobbyist to have this function. I've done a couple of live streams on it, and we will do some more on that. All right, first thing is a feed screw. And this is one that I've actually gotten, this is actually a request that I've gotten for quite a while. It's all a feed screw, also called an auger. That's kind of like what I know it as. So that's a bit of a request that have been coming in for a while, and I thought I'll address that one. I don't have a name on this one. Somebody just asked for it the other day, and I didn't write down the name, and I couldn't find the email. If you are experienced with Fusion, you might be thinking, all right, I got this. It is probably going to be something like a helix, and maybe we want to use the sweep command. But you know me. I like to be somewhat lazy when it comes to CAD and CAM, and I don't think that I utilize these tools under the Create button quite enough when we are doing live streams. I think I have a tendency to default back to the good old commands here, and again, my main purpose for doing these live streams is to show you the tools, not necessarily making the perfect part, but I should definitely show these. So check this out, the coil function. I'm going to click the coil, and as soon as I do that, you will see that it comes up next to my cursor, and it says select the plane or a planar face. And then it looks like we got the circle command. That's exactly what we got. Let's click on this face here, doesn't really matter which one we select on, and let's draw a circle. Now, I don't know how big your feed screw or auger you want to make. I'm going to make it 250 millimeters, and hit enter, and boom, we get we get a coil on the screen, and that is cool in itself. Notice over here in the menu, let's just slow down a second. We got about 30 minutes. No rush. But if I go too fast, don't forget, you can always rewind. That's the great thing about these videos. You have some different options in here. You can control revolution and height, revolution and pitch, height and pitch, and then you can even also put in a spiral number. You got all different kinds of things in here. The thing I want to go to is be aware of there's actually different shapes. So I'm going to select a square, and that gets us somewhat close to something maybe. But if I drag this arrow out here, and I'm just going to drag this arrow out. See, now it starts looking more like a feed kind of screw type. We could give it, so of course, some more revolutions. Make it 5 revolutions. And make it a little bit longer. Depends on the specs. I mean, if you're going to make a real feed screw, I'm sure that you have a certain length and stuff like that. I'm making this up on the spot. Hit OK, and with one command, we kind of got this whole shape here. So if you didn't know that, at this point, you might be like, whoa, that's pretty cool. But a feed screw normally is solid in the center. So I'm just going to go up and hit our trusted normal sketch. Click on a face here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit C for circle. I'm going to place a circle in here. CAD software normally don't like zeros, so I'm not going to draw this one up right to the edge. I'm just going to draw it a little bit past 205 or something like that. Give it a dimension of 205. So it's surpassing the shape a little bit. And then I'm just going to do a press pull, right? So up there. Click here. Now, when I drag it through, because it sees that there's material, it will cut. Anything in red is cut. Of course, you can go over here. You could make it a new body. You could go over and try to do a join body and see if these two will actually join into one body when you hit OK. And of course, Fusion does that in this instance because it's awesome. And that is. That's my first attempt at an auger or a feed screw like that. And it definitely, if you gotta model one of these up, I think this is a pretty good starting point. What do you think? You let me know in the comments. Let's save this one here. Let's call it feed screw, so we have it for future reference. Save it in the live stream and hit OK. So what do you think of that? If you appreciate this suggestion to do this, I wish I could remember your name. Thank you for giving this one. The next one is from Richard. Richard asked me, how would you model up a golf ball? And I am not a golfer. Matter of fact, I don't even have a golf ball laying around. But I can definitely take a stab at it. And then sometimes... if you're new to Fusion, I know that sometimes it's intimidating to start modeling things up. And you know where you're going to end up. You know you got to get the model on the screen. Sometimes it can be hard to figure out where to start. I challenge you to just jump in there with both feet and try some different tools. You're going to be okay. Nothing's going to blow up. Only if you start seeing counting down on the screen like 5, 4, 3, then run. But anything else, you can be pretty safe. The Fusion is not going to break anything. So with this golf ball, I thought about, yeah, I can do a golf ball. And then I thought to myself, is it possible inside of Fusion to do a golf ball without a single sketch? Is it possible? You think to yourself, is it possible? Well, of course it's possible. I wouldn't do it. But what I challenge you to do is, what's how I do it? And maybe there's a better way to do it, or your way to do it. But the challenge is to try to do it a little bit different than we normally would do. Because we are done with the feed screw. So if you missed that, you got to scroll back and see the feed. There's a pretty bad feed screw spinning around right there. Let's get, okay, moving on. So if I was normally going to do a golf ball inside of Fusion 360, I would probably, what would we look for? We would probably look to do something. We will actually default back to these good old tools up here. And I think that, you know, if you watched the live streams before, I talk about that anything round, the revolve is your go-to. So that would probably be where I would go to. But we just talked about using the call function down here. Let's use this sphere, that's hard for me to say. Just like Viking helmet, it's hard for me to say. Sphere, click on that, and we're gonna make a sphere. So we're gonna draw another point here that gives us a sphere, a ball, a shape for our golf ball. I don't know how big a golf ball is. I'm gonna say 50 millimeters, and you correct me if whatever, you know, somebody's gonna make a better version than me here. So now we have a the ball shape itself, and I think if you're brand new to Fusion, if it's like your first day, just sit back and just check out some of the tools I'm going to be using here, and don't get too worried about if you don't completely get it, but just open up your imagination and you will see some of the neat tools they send in Fusion. So we got a body here of this golf ball. I'm actually going to go ahead and create another sphere. So let's go ahead and create another sphere on the same plane. That's fine, right here in the center. I'm going to make this one 5. Okay, so now I got a body number 2, that's the 5 millimeter, and the body number 1 is the golf ball itself. I'm going to hide the golf ball itself. I'm going to right click, move copy, select this body, and I'm just going to move it out of the way. I'm just going to make sure that I'm over 25. So when I turn the body back again here, we can see this. Because what I'm going to use this little 5 millimeter is to actually kind of stamp that in as the shape here. I'm going to go to my right view, and again I'm winging this. So for any of my good friends out there, it's not going to be too many names who knows a lot about golf. Maybe 26 would be good. Let's go with that, 26, and hit enter. So now we kind of have that shape sitting up there, but it's kind of cool. But we need a lot of these, and like I said, I like to be lazy. So here's a neat trick. I'm going to turn the origin back on, and then I'm actually going to cut this shape up as Swiss cheese. Go in here and do a split body. I'm going to select the golf ball, and I'm going to select one of the planes in here. Now you can see that I can't really select them, but if I hold down the left mouse button where I know the plane is, then this little menu pops up, and I can select the plane right through there. I'm going to cut that one up there. So notice how I'm now getting multiple bodies. I'm going to right click and repeat that split body. I'm going to select the front face here. I'm going to cut that one up with this other plane here. Hold down the left mouse button, this little menu will show up, and now we just chop that up there. I'm going to do one more time. Right click, repeat split body. I'm going to select this portion here. I'm going to do a split body with the flat, hold down left mouse button, this one, hit OK. So I kind of split this thing up in some different sections. This is actually the one I want to keep. So I'm going to go ahead here, hold down shift, select the 3 other ones here that I don't want. Why am I not getting the back one? This one. I want this one, and this one. Okay. So these 3 bodies, and I'm gonna right click, and your tendency will hit to delete, but don't forget, delete will heal everything. If I hit delete, it literally just gonna heal the whole thing up as one ball again. We're gonna hit remove this time, and now we end up with what is that? A quarter of a ball? Quarter of a ball. Okay, that is all good so far. I like this. Now I know that I'm gonna need kind of like this indent from this body here down the shape here. So I'm gonna go in and use the pattern command, and I'm gonna use the pattern on path. Somebody just sent me an email the other day about this. I saw it, but I didn't have a chance to really go into depth, but maybe this answers your question. Pattern on a path. And I'm gonna select a body from the menu. I'm gonna select that little up here. And then I'm gonna select the path, what's gonna be this edge. So I actually had to kind of split this thing up to be able to get this path. That's kind of the only reason that I cut it off. And you will see when I'm dragging out here, you will actually see that I get like 3 shadows. I hope you can see this. 3 shadows of this body. I'm gonna need more than 3. Let's try 6. 6 here. And you can see that I can drag on this arrow, and you'll actually see, might be hard to see, it will actually snap in when it hits right on the center. Right there. It might be hard to see, but if you test it out yourself, it'll snap right there. So now it's snapped in. And this might be hard to see, but there's a little trick about this. Maybe you can see it. This one up here, this body up here, notice how that is not on the center of this curve. See that? We brought it up like 26. It's 1 millimeter from center. But notice how this one down here looks like it pretty much is. That is because the orientation is set to identical. And it means, it depends on how it's projected. If you look at that little window here, it might make sense versus path direction. It depends. If you keep it on identical, I don't know if I can explain this really well. Identical means that it's gonna do the path, it's gonna follow the path, but it's keeping it straight to this axis. It's not revolving as it's not, the ball is not curving around with the edge. It's staying kind of like normal to the vertical edge you see here versus path direction. And when I hit path direction, you will see that the thing switches. Let me go back again. This might be the problem this one guy had. All right, I'm going to say okay to this. Oof, I hope I haven't lost anybody. So we pattern this top body down this edge here. Look at this beautiful, I don't know what that's supposed to look like. So now we have these kind of sections here. Now what I'm going to do now is that I am going to use my favorite command. Remember, this is a golf ball without sketching. That's your challenge here. I'm going to use the combine tool, but I'm not going to combine. I'm actually going to cut with it. So the target body is this shape, and I hope I haven't lost everybody. And tool body is going to be all these small sections here. That's going to be my tool body. I'm not going to join them together. I'm going to cut with them, and you can choose to keep them the small circles if you want to, but we actually don't need them anymore. So I'm just going to hit OK to that. Give the software a second. So now you saw what we kind of had done with that. So we patterned, we had one ball created up here. We patterned those along this edge. That was why you saw me cutting it up in all those sections, because I'm going to have to put them back together again. Then we use these almost like a punch, like we slam them right into the golf ball. And then we get kind of this half indent. Now, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to do a mirror, and I'm going to not do faces, that's what it said at. I'm just going to do the whole body, this whole body, and I'm going to mirror it over itself. Notice that, over itself, and hit OK. And then now you will see that it becomes full again, right? Because we mirrored them over. Now we can combine them again. Again, I'm doing a lot of steps here, but I'm doing it because I'm trying to avoid using a sketch, because I'm trying to challenge myself. I'm going to use the join. I'm going to join these two again together. And Now they look like this. And you could think, all right, let's keep mirroring, and actually let's do that on the top section here. So let's go ahead and mirror one more time. But then I'm going to show you something neat. Hit mirror, and then I'm going to select this face and hit OK. And then we could combine those. Modify, combine. Select these two halves, make them into one. That's the combine tool. I clicked on it quick. This is the combine tool, one of my favorite tools. Click here, and now we are almost back to normal. But of course, this doesn't look too much like a golf ball yet. However, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to revolve these dents around the center here on the y-axis. But I'm actually, when I tested this out before, I actually decided that you need to increase the amount as you're going down here. What makes it a lot harder having the backside of them in here. So what you can do, I don't know if you know this, but if I select this face and I hit delete on my keyboard, boom, it's like it never happened. Select that face, delete. Select that face, delete. Like that, say delete. So I'm kind of like mirroring everything around, but then deleting certain of it. So now I'm back to here. All right, this is where the fun is going to start here. Let's go back in and do another circular. I'm going to do another circular pattern. I'm going to select this top face. And if I'm going too fast, I'm sorry. Rewind. I'm going to select this inner axis in here. And let's do let's do 6. Hit OK. See that? Right? Let's repeat that. Right click, repeat circular pattern. Select this face. Go around this axis again. Now, this time, I definitely want more than 6. So let's see. Double it, maybe 12. Okay. Right click, repeat circular pattern. Select this one. Do that over that edge. Let's try, and this is where I found out that doing the same number looks a little weird. If we do 13, so adding one more. Okay. Right click, repeat. And let's do this one. Let's do 14. And then the last one here, right click, repeat pattern. Select that face on that axis, and that would be 15. Okay, getting there, I think. We can, well, let's mirror this one. So I was going to change the appearance. Hang on. I get excited. I get ahead of myself. Let's mirror this body over this own face. Now it starts looking like something. Let's combine those two together. Modify, combine, join this one and this one. Okay. Looks pretty good. Now, something I noticed here, you see how the center direction here, it combined it together, but inside the indent, they kind of like have a line in there. You see that line there? I think that this software is trying to split the face. And you can actually heal faces. If you select on one side and hit delete, see how it goes away then? So that was kind of like my conclusion with that. It's just trying to, it ends up splitting the face. So just got to go around on the center one here and hit delete on one side, and it will. So it is a solid body, but the face have been split, and you're just deleting one of them, and it heals itself. It's one of those things that I have never tried in other CAD software where it can heal faces this easy. Just hitting the delete button. There we go. Been all the way around. Let's turn the origin off. Let's right click, hit appearances. Let's go into paint. Glossy. There should be a white. Drag that on there. That looks pretty decent. Now, if you're not too happy with this, we could, I think that maybe the dimples here are not big enough. We could go back and edit feature. And instead of 5, we could try 7. So now we're changing that inside diameter to 7, but we're changing it all the way down here, so you can't see it until we hit OK. Now they definitely got a little bit, they can maybe get a little bit bigger. Right click, edit feature, let's try to make them 7.5. I think that's better. Now that I think maybe they're a little bit deep, we could go back into that edit feature in here, right? Remember how we moved that up 26? So maybe we raise that up another 0.5 millimeter. Hit enter, click calculate. And that is actually probably pretty good. I think you probably have to take it into like the rendering environment to get really the right scoop of it. But I think that's how I would do a golf ball without doing a single sketch. I think that was kind of a fun challenge. What do you think? You let me know down in the comments area. Is good? Bad? Okay, that was Richard who asked, how do you do a golf ball? Talking about a golf ball, Craig from Scotland asked me about a split washer. That's going to be the last one I probably can do today. I had a couple more, but maybe they have to wait. Split washer, and I actually had to look up what a split washer is. Sorry, Craig. From McMaster, it's actually what I would have called a kind of locking washer, but Greg was right, called it the right thing. Let's get rid of the golf ball here. I'm gonna say that, right? Golf. And again, in the comments area, give me your comments about making a golf ball without a single sketch. Get rid of that one. So, to Craig's question, we're gonna insert a McMaster component, and I'm actually gonna insert a screw first because a split washer is not worth anything without a screw. A metric screw, because he's in Scotland, so that's what they will be using there. 12 millimeter. Yeah. I don't know how long it should be. 150 millimeters. I'll make this window a little bit bigger so we can see. We're going to select the step file here, hit save, and we should get a screw in here. Okay, there is a screw. So now we need the split washer. Do the same thing, McMaster. I'll make it a little bit bigger. And like I said, I would have called it a lock washer. Craig was completely right. It's called a split washer. Split washers. And I don't see it right. Why don't I see it right here? Split lock washers? Split lock washers. Okay. Okay, Craig, we can we share 50-50? You call it a split washer. I call it a lock washer. We call it 50-50. All right. Now I'm going to go back and check the email. Craig probably did say metric split lock washer. I'm going to select this one here. We had a 12 millimeter. I'm going to show you just in a second what Greg was referring to in regard to mating these. So let's bring this one in. Step file. Yep, that's all good. There it is. Okay. So I'm bringing that one in. So there is the split lock washer. So here's the question that, if I had to screw for a second, here's the question that that Craig had. If you're going to make this one, you can't select the center of it. It's impossible to select the center. And the reason you can't select the center is because it's not a complete arc, right? Because it is it's a helix. It's almost like a feed screw. Now, of course, there is ways around this. So what we could do was we can go down, we can make it active. I would make the split lock washer active. I will start a sketch, create a new sketch on like this plane here. And now we have a sketch. Now again, we can't pick this up because even though we're looking normal to it, realize that this is not an arc. It looks round, but it's a development, right? Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. And Fusion is going to stay true to that. So what I would do was, and maybe I wouldn't do this if I was going to send things out to space, but then I maybe would think about if there was a better way. But what I would do was I would select a 3-point arc. And then I would select this endpoint, and then whenever I snap this one in, it's going to be a pretty dang close arc I have in here. Now, when I hit stop the sketch, you will now see that we have that arc in here. And if I turn the screw back on, now, because I placed that sketch inside of I had that component active, what means that now when I go out and do a joint, I can now actually select. Let me hide the screw for a second. I can actually now select that center of the 3-point arc as my component. So now when I go up here, I can place that with a joint like that. But that, Craig, brings up another discussion. So this would give you your result. You just maybe have to move it down about how much this thickness is. Right there. So that, Craig, should answer your question. However, with 2 minutes left, let me just talk. Can I just give my opinion about modeling? So this is also one of the reasons that I have not done a compression spring inside of Inventor, because I like to model things inside of Inventor. I just call it Inventor. Inside of Fusion 360. I'm sorry, I don't know where that came from. I'm back in 2008. I like to model things inside of Fusion the way it's going to be when it's all assembled and ready. And we all know that this washer in real life would not show up like this, right? Because it would be, when you tighten it down, well, it would be compressed. So what I would actually do, and again, somebody else, you're more than welcome to give your opinion in the comment section, because I'm definitely not, the guy who knows everything. I would probably go and select a standard washer. Oh, that is right, lock washers right there. Standard washer, and I would probably find one that is in a thickness just like our other one. And then of course I select a standard washer, and it's standard washers. Okay. Flat washer, metric. What I would do was I would bring in I don't know now, this would be the better one. Bear with me, folks. This one. I would bring a washer in like this, and then I would cut it open. So we could again make that washer active, right? We could start a sketch on this washer, and I'm just gonna go ahead here and draw. I would probably do something like this, actually, if I was gonna be honest. Draw a line vertical like that, and then maybe draw another line here, another line here. Okay, so those two now are parallel. I would do a symmetrical relationship, this point to this point to this point, and give it a dimension. I don't know if this is exactly how I actually would do it now where I'm thinking about it, but you'll bear with me. P for project. Select this edge. Select, is that the washer edge? This edge. Okay. Q. Cut this washer through here. Whoops, not through all. All. If you do through all, then make sure you turn off the right body. Is that bottom number one? There you go. So now it would look more like a compressed washer, right? And then I would go in and do a so like that to that there. Oops, that's not right. Joint there to there, and now this looks more like how this is how I assemble it, and then in my drawing I would make it a compression. I hope this makes sense. So instead of doing this, and because that's not how it's going to look like assembled, I would do that. I don't know. You let me know in the comments area what do you think. But that, folks, that was all that I had planned on showing today. I hope that this was somewhat useful. How to do a feed screw. If you came in late, you gotta go back and check that out. How to model up a golf ball without a single sketch. Whew. We did it. And then the last one here from Craig about the split lock washer. I hope that this is useful. Just trying to add a little bit more value to your Fusion experience. If you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and the bell notification right next to it. Then you'll be notified when we're doing these live streams. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow is CAM. We're going to talk about tomorrow what is new in the releases came out a few days ago in CAM. If you're watching the recording, thank you so much for taking the time to join these. I truly appreciate it. If you're inside of the live stream, then the live stream chat, I'll be right in and say hi to everybody. Take care, folks. Hope to see you tomorrow.